Welcome to Ultimate Orlando Clicks. I'm your host, Kevin, and we are starting this week at the Orlando Eye. Now, this is iDrive Live. It's a brand new construction area on International Drive near the Ripley's, believe it or not, museum. And they've built a new parking structure. As you can see, it's not quite open yet. And in the background, they've got an enormous setup for what will be a 450-foot tall Ferris wheel in the iDrive area, a little bit set back from iDrive itself, which is over on to the right here. So as you can see, they've got the support structures in place for this, and you can see it kind of towering over the parking structure. And then the other strip mall development that they're doing kind of in the front area there. They've got a yard house, which is kind of like an ale house, and there's going to be a Madame Tussauds and other things scattered around the area when it's all finished. We are moving over to Universal Studios, where this is the City Walk overpass, so to speak. The movie theater is right behind me as I take this picture, and the Starbucks is brand new. So the Starbucks just opened this past weekend, and when you step foot inside, you'll see a large, expansive area with some theming over onto the side. There's the theming over on the side there. And then the usual Starbucks menu from that point forward. So it's themed like a Starbucks. Around the corner from there is the Cold Stone Creamery. So this is an ice cream place, if you're not familiar with it, with its usual menu as well. I'll zoom in a little bit for you there so you can see what the prices look like. On top of that entire area, so the Cold Stone is down here, we have the former location of the Starbucks. Now this is the Red Brick pizza place that just opened recently, and they've got walls up in this area here where the Starbucks used to be. Now behind me from there, so now we're over the movie theater as we take this picture, we've got a series of closed stores. You've got the cigar store first, and then you go down the little stairs there, the DTBY frozen yogurt from there, and maybe that's going to be a Menchie's. I heard something about a Menchie's coming in here. And then the candy company is also closed. So all three of those going down these stairs are closed. And here's the end of the stairway system, if you're familiar with what that looks like. I just have never noticed this particular image before, and I think it's not quite painted on that wall so much as part of like the wall paneling, so to speak. We are at the Magic Kingdom entrance, not the Transportation and Ticket Center. And so if you're able to see what's going on, there's a boat docked on the left here and a new boat dock on the right. So they will have the ability to dock two boats at once on the Magic Kingdom side, and they do have that same ability on the TTC side. So they will be able to increase the amount of boat traffic, basically, and not have as many waits. Obviously, the bridge is not completely finished yet. A couple of shots of the moats under construction. Now, they haven't started doing much of the area. They've put in some walls, as you can see, and the walls are themed on the guest visible side. They've been doing some coloring of the turrets on Cinderella Castle. And they haven't said out loud what they're doing, but the obvious implication is that this is a primer coat. We saw this one and this one in the past get that silver color, and they've turned back blue again. So the silver is probably there to increase the metallic sheen underneath it. While we were at the monorails, we saw that they held one of the monorails once while this dog came in and basically bomb sniffed everything in the monorail. So that was an interesting development. They might just be doing that as a matter of course now. Now on that dock that we showed you earlier, there are these pieces missing. They're buoys, and for some reason the transportation folks refer to those as dolphins. So the dolphins are yet to go onto the new dock. This is a shot of construction at Polynesian. So they've taken away part of the front parking lot, and they've taken away an earlier or back parking lot a long time ago. I want to call your attention to these structures in the back here. You'll see it from another shot as well. I think those are brand new, and so it kind of looks like maybe they're developing a bus loop here. Maybe this will be the DVC welcome zone for the area that they're building out on the water. Switching over to downtown Disney, you'll see that the boat docks here in front of Rainforest Cafe and the Lava Lounge are completely gone. There is no boat transportation up to Old Key West and so forth, and no boat dock down here either. They've got a lot of construction equipment moving in. We'll get a different angle on that in a little while. And this is near the T-Rex and Portobello. So this is going to be yet another restaurant there. This is the topiaries in the outside of the west side, where they also have some things set up for games, I guess, for little kids in honor of the new Muppet movie, which is out, and they're trying to drum up as much interest as they can. So Muppets Most Wanted comes out later this week, and they're doing a lot of advertising here as well as a couple places in the parks. We didn't make it over to Muppet Vision, but apparently there's one there as well. Now, the trucks do move around downtown Disney. What caught my eye is this section of this truck. They've got some Muppets-themed merchandise in the truck, which makes sense. Now, it is St. Patrick's Day as this is recorded, actually, and so it was recorded. These pictures were taken over the past weekend. They've got St. Patrick's stuff scattered around downtown Disney. An update shot of the parking structure under construction outside of the AMC. You can see that the first level is seems to be done because they're starting the second level of vertical construction. Now, it's a little difficult to see in this shot, but parts of the west side have been fenced in. So the fences here are new, and this is that Starbucks under construction. D Street and so forth is over to our right. This walkway is more narrow than it used to be, and those didn't used to have walls on them. In fact, the walls are announcing that there's a food truck park coming in this summer. So they're doing some kind of construction, probably infrastructure, getting it ready for all 4 of the food trucks at once. And you'll see that this is the DHS truck and the DAC truck and the Epcot World Showcase truck, and then finally the Magic Kingdom themed truck. Each have their own signs there. They do have a cutaway in the walls, which lets you go into the restrooms here for the men. The women have to go all the way around the outside of the building because it's on the other side of the building there. And this is the Starbucks under construction. A little bit more of the signage about the St. Patrick's Day Festival and another angle on that Starbucks. They've got more of the roof line done now. Heading out towards the AMC and Planet Hollywood over on the right, you'll see they've got some temporary booths set up for selling St. Patrick's Day merchandise, a temporary stage set up where they're playing songs and so forth. Back to where we were a moment ago, this is the Starbucks, more of that roof line done there. And they had several of these signs up saying things about St. Patrick's Day and about Ireland in general. We'll see why in a minute. Now, this was new to me. The bridge over into Pleasure Island is now blocked off completely. So they're pointing you to the left down the walkway there. Now, this is the old bridge, which is now abandoned for the moment. Here's that new walkway. Now, the walkway's been there for a little while, but it was kind of an alternate route. So now it's the only route through downtown, through that part of downtown Disney, through Pleasure Island. A little bit more of those signage you can see. I didn't get a complete picture of all of them. And there's some of the construction behind Portobello jutting out into the water, as you can see. They've really started to build a solid structure here, which is probably going to go vertical pretty soon. At Paradiso 37, which is where that walkway ends, they've got a booth set up for St. Patrick's Day, and you can see that Paradiso is part of a dead end at this point, so you have to approach it from this side of Pleasure Island, and as you can tell, it probably is having a negative effect on their business, all this construction, that is. Now, just behind that spot where I took that picture is this booth about tourism to Ireland. And so this explains those signs we saw earlier, all the Irish-themed stuff happening at Downtown Disney for St. Patrick's Day was obviously hosted at some level by some agency in Ireland. The epicenter, of course, is going to be at Raglan Road, this being St. Patrick's Day, and they've got a lot of folks here. They've got some live entertainment set up, teaching people how to dance, all these green drinks you can see everywhere, all these banners and so forth around Raglan Road. And this is the area right near that, advertising that it is the mighty St. Patrick's Festival happening this particular weekend. More construction walls, this time outside of Portobello, really just in the central zone, because it turns out you can get into Fulton's Crab House from around the other side. And in fact, there's a trench walkway between the construction walls here as well, so it kind of gets in the way a little bit. A little bit of a closer look for what they're selling on this particular weekend, so you get an idea of how much things cost, and some upcharged specialty drink cups as well. Now, here's that other view as promised of the area near the Lava Lounge, where they previously took out that bridge jutting outwards and that jetty, and they took out all of this zone here, which used to be the marina. Now it's just a big construction zone, and when we back up a little bit on the shots in a second, you'll see what the construction is doing. First, before I forgot it, I wanted to also show that the waterway here is blocked off. You have to go up around near Pollo Campero, which appears to be on its last legs, by the way, on its way out, to make your way over toward the Lego store and all of that. So we go around the buildings there, around the construction, to see this angle of what they're doing. And they're putting out, as you can see, dirt across this. They're building basically a walkway across here, connecting the rainforest to the T-Rex, so Levy to Levy. I'm sorry, those are not Levy restaurants, but connecting those two restaurants, which are owned by the same owner. Levy's the one who owns things like Portobello. And here's a view of the marina area, now completely, zoom in for you there, now completely free of any trace that there ever was a marina here. They've obviously got the water stopped up so they can do some of that construction over on the left. They've got a kind of a floating barge and dock over on the other side of that, and you can see that here's that wall of dirt I was talking about, where they can bring equipment out into the water while they make that walkway over to the other side of downtown Disney, to the marketplace side. Switching over to the World of Disney, here's a structure going up in the middle of World of Disney. Now, if you've been watching, you know that this is, in fact, a Starbucks coming here. So it is under construction now and looking like it's catching up to its cousin, actually, elsewhere. The World of Disney has long had a Cinderella statue, but with all this construction walls, I guess they decided they needed to put a backdrop in place as well. So now you can take a picture with Cinderella in a nicely themed backdrop. All right, let's play our game. Where in Walt Disney World was this? Last week here was the prompt, and I didn't get a single guess, probably because this one is really obtuse, really obscure. It is the Chicken Little Meet and Greet area from Disney Animation in DHS. So this is the Q area where they showed stills from the movie, and it may not be resident in most people's mind. It's not a movie that people watch over and over again, I guess. All right, with that in mind, let's give you next week's challenge. Leave your answers in the comment section, and we'll see you next week if you're right. Just tell me, where in Walt Disney World was this? That does it for this week. We thank you as always for your attention, and we will catch you guys next time.